El mundo observa con gran expectación, las tensiones aumentan, las alianzas cambian. El orden global, que alguna vez pareció estable, se tambalea al borde de una transformación sísmica. En el centro de esta vorágine se encuentra el creciente conflicto entre Rusia y Ucrania, un conflicto que ha expuesto profundas divisiones dentro de la comunidad internacional y ha encendido un feroz debate sobre el futuro del poder global. El gobierno de Chan, conocido por su enfoque pragmático de la política exterior, ha adoptado una postura sorprendentemente desafiante contra el gobierno de Kiev. Cuestionan la narrativa que sale de Ucrania. Critican abiertamente a la Unión Europea. Esto ha enviado ondas de choque a través de los círculos diplomáticos, dejando a muchos preguntándose, ¿es este el amanecer de un nuevo orden mundial? La situación se complica aún más por el espectro de un posible regreso de Trump a la Casa Blanca. ¿Podría una presidencia de Trump inflamar aún más las tensiones con Europa? Las respuestas a estas preguntas tienen profundas implicaciones para el futuro de las relaciones internacionales. The recent actions of the Chan administration mark a significant departure from the established world order. Their stance on the conflict between Russia and Ukraine has caused surprise in Western capitals. The Chan administration has refused to condemn Russia's actions in Ukraine. They have abstained from voting on UN sanctions. They have even gone so far as to criticize the West's response to the conflict, accusing them of hypocrisy and double standards. This bold stance has been met with a mix of confusion and alarm in the West. Some analysts see it as a sign of China's growing assertiveness on the world stage. Others interpret it as a strategic move to exploit the growing rift between Russia and the West. Whatever the motivation, one thing is clear. The Chan administration is no longer content to play by the old rules. They are charting their own course, and the world is struggling to keep up. The internal divisions within the West are perhaps most starkly illustrated by the statements of U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance. Vance, a figure often associated with populist nationalism, has become a vocal critic of the European Union, particularly its handling of the Ukraine crisis. Speaking at the Munich Security Conference, Vance did not mince words. He argued that the EU's focus on external threats like Russia and China was misplaced. He believes these threats are exaggerated. Instead, Vance pointed to what he sees as the real vulnerabilities of the EU: uncontrolled immigration, the erosion of freedom of speech, and a weakened commitment to traditional values. His words have resonated with right-wing populist movements across Europe, who share his skepticism towards the EU and its liberal values. Vance's statements have further strained relations between the United States and its European allies. They highlight the growing ideological chasm that separates them. Adding another layer of complexity to the situation are the accusations of false flag attacks perpetrated by the Ukrainian government. These alleged attacks, particularly those at Chernóbil and the Zaporiyia nuclear power plant, have raised serious concerns about the potential for escalation and the spread of disinformation. Russia has accused Ukraine of staging these attacks to involve NATO in the conflict and gain international sympathy. They claim that Ukraine is desperate to portray Russia as the aggressor and themselves as the victims, even if it means resorting to such dangerous tactics. These accusations have been met with skepticism in the West, but have gained traction among certain segments of the population. The fog of war, with its inherent confusion and conflicting narratives, has made it difficult to discern the truth. However, the fact that these accusations are being made underscores the deep mistrust that exists between the two sides. It also highlights the potential for miscalculation and unintended consequences in this highly volatile environment. Section 5. Evidence from the front, the Zaporiyia incident. The most concerning of these alleged false flag attacks is the incident at the Zaporiyia nuclear power plant, the largest in Europe. Russia claims to have drone footage showing Ukrainian forces shelling the plant, risking a catastrophic nuclear disaster. This footage, if authenticated, could be damning. It would lend credibility to Russia's claims of Ukrainian aggression and recklessness. However, Ukraine has vehemently denied these accusations. They claim that Russia is responsible for the shelling of the plant. They say Russia is trying to discredit Ukraine and sow fear among the international community. The International Atomic Energy Agency, or IAEA, has called for an immediate cessation of hostilities around the plant. They have also urged both sides to allow their inspectors to assess the damage and ensure the safety of the facilities. the situation in Zaporiyia remains precarious. It serves as a stark reminder of the potential for this conflict to escalate into a full-blown nuclear catastrophe. Section 6. Where is Zelensky? The mystery of the missing negotiator. Amid rising tensions and accusations, a curious absence has further fueled speculation and intrigue. The disappearance of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky from the negotiation table. Zelensky, who was once a regular at international forums, rallying support for his besieged nation, has been conspicuously absent from recent peace talks. This has led to a flurry of questions and theories about his whereabouts and motives. Some speculate that Zelensky, feeling the pressure of the ongoing conflict and potentially influenced by external actors, is deliberately distancing himself from the negotiations. Others believe he may be seeking a stronger negotiating position, waiting for a more opportune moment to re-engage. However, his absence has created a void, leaving a cloud of uncertainty over Ukraine's future and the prospects for a negotiated solution. Section 7. The murky role of the EU, orchestrating peace or pulling the strings. With Zelensky absent, the European Union has stepped in to fill the void, taking on a more prominent role in peace negotiations. While the EU presents itself as a neutral arbiter, seeking a swift and peaceful resolution to the conflict, some observers have raised concerns about the bloc's true intentions. Critics argue that the EU, driven by its own geopolitical interests and economic considerations, might be pushing for a deal that favors Russia. They point to the EU's dependence on Russian energy and its desire to avoid a prolonged conflict that could further damage its fragile economy. Others worry that the EU, lacking the necessary influence and unity, may be ill-equipped to handle such a complex and high-stakes negotiation. They fear that the EU's involvement could prolong the conflict rather than resolve it, leading to more suffering and instability in the region. The EU's growing influence in the peace process has raised more questions than answers. It has also fueled suspicions about its commitment to Ukrainian sovereignty and its willingness to confront Russian aggression. Section 8. The imminent specter of Trump. A new era of uncertainty. Echando más leña al fuego está el espectro de un posible regreso de Donald Trump a la Casa Blanca. Trump, conocido por su enfoque poco convencional de la política exterior y su admiración por hombres fuertes como Vladimir Putin, ha insinuado una postura más aislacionista para Estados Unidos, priorizando los intereses estadounidenses por encima de todo. Durante su presidencia, Trump se enfrentó con frecuencia con los líderes europeos, cuestionando el valor de la OTAN e imponiendo aranceles a los productos europeos. También expresó su escepticismo sobre la participación de Estados Unidos en conflictos extranjeros, abogando por un enfoque más moderado y transaccional de las relaciones internacionales. Un posible regreso de Trump al poder ha enviado ondas de choque a las capitales europeas, lo que genera temores de una ruptura transatlántica. La imprevisibilidad de Trump y su voluntad de cambiar las normas establecidas han dejado a muchos preguntándose cómo abordaría una segunda administración Trump la crisis de Ucrania y su relación con Europa. ¿Buscaría Trump reparar las relaciones con Rusia, potencialmente a expensas de Ucrania? ¿Retiraría a Estados Unidos de la OTAN, envalentonando aún más a Rusia y socavando la seguridad europea? La posibilidad de una presidencia de Trump inyecta un grado significativo de incertidumbre en un panorama global ya volátil. Section 9. A World on the Edge. Navigating the Geopolitical Minefield. The world stands at a crossroads. The conflict in Ukraine has exposed the fragility of the existing world order and the deep divisions plaguing the international community. The defiant stance of Chon's government, J.D. Vance's criticisms of the EU, accusations of false flag attacks, the absence of Zelensky, the growing role of the EU, and the imminent possibility of Trump's return have created a perfect storm of geopolitical uncertainty. The stakes could not be higher. The decisions made in the coming months will have far-reaching consequences, not just for Ukraine and Russia, but for the entire world. The potential for miscalculation and escalation is very real. The international community must navigate this complex and dangerous landscape with wisdom, courage, and an unwavering commitment to peace. The alternative is too terrible to contemplate.